Some people at the time thought it was the right move, Jose Mourinho, to come in, take over from Pochettino. One thing that stands out is that Mourinho's only had one clean sheet in his 9 games as coach since taking over at Spurs. Mark, you're a big supporter of this move. You thought Mourinho would come in and sort things out. Why hasn't it worked?
No, I agree. I thought he would come in and make things a lot more stable and make things better. But, you know, the bounce lasted about 3 games and it's just drifted off. And I think they always say that players who underperform for a long time under a previous manager, they will find a lift up, but they will let you down. I remember people saying the same about United last year when Solskjaer came in. People warned that just watch out, after 3 or 4 games, that bounce will diminish. And it's happened at Tottenham. Now, obviously, the big problem they've got is Harry Kane, because Harry Kane is now out until April at least before he even returns to training. So you've got 3 months of the season without the best striker, and no matter who they bring in January, if they do bring somebody in, won't score the goals that Harry Kane can score. So, you know, Mourinho, I think as well, he's got a problem in goal. I don't think Gazzaniga is anywhere near good enough for the Premier League. We saw that in the Chelsea game when he basically gave the game to Chelsea with his ridiculous decisions. So he's got a goalkeeper he can't rely upon, and he's got a striker who is out for 3 months. So, you know, it's no surprise they've got problems. And I think as well, I think he's probably realised that Eric Dyer isn't the solution. He brought him back early on, and Dyer has been off form for about 2 years now. And Mourinho is probably thinking he could get the best out of him. I'm not sure that's possible now. So he's gone in there and realised that some of the players aren't as good as he thought they were.
Harry Kane out until April, a massive blow, obviously, Stevie. If I'm a Spurs fan, I'm not exactly optimistic looking ahead to the rest of the season.
Well, why would you be? Because there's nothing really to grasp onto. You know, Mourinho coming in, the first thing you thought he would do was sort out the back line. That has just not materialised whatsoever. So basically, as a Spurs fan, unless we sign players, and they don't have a reputation for going and signing players in this window, how does it change? I don't see how it does change. You are just going to get a Spurs side between now and the end of the season, having a good game, going through the dips again, maybe having another great game, pulling the fans back in, oh, this is it.
The hope.
And then they get let go again. So there's no reason to suggest it's going to be anything other than what we've been getting.
They are only 6 points off Chelsea. But are they done? Are we saying it's over?
Well, what we're saying, I think, is you look at the last couple of games by Spurs, and they are dangerously approaching that area where they look very much like Manchester United towards the end of the Mourinho time in Manchester United. At the very beginning of Mourinho coming in for Spurs, I think the thing that was impressive is not that they were defending well, because they were not, but they were attacking. They were scoring goals. They were committing numbers forward. They were taking chances. And now, as things started sort of coming back to normal, and Mourinho's thinking, wait a minute, we're giving too many goals away. Now, okay, we're going to drop some numbers back. We're not nearly as open going forward. We can create chances, but we can't really defend all that well. What you end up having is a team that's neither here nor there, and that's very much what we'll see for the remainder of the season. Because if you don't have your best player available, and now you can't really defend, and Mark just mentioned that the goalkeeper cannot be a good goalkeeper for you, then where is it that you find the hope? And so the only thing that gives you hope if you're Spurs is that Chelsea's inconsistent, just as inconsistent as you have been. And so maybe the lack of experience of Chelsea, maybe the youth of Chelsea allows you to stay in the race. But you also have to jump a couple other teams in order to make sure that you make that run. I just don't see it happening.
Oh, those heady days of Dele Alli's brother.
Yes.
Boy, and everything.
Do we need to bring Dele Alli's brother?
That was so much fun. That was so much fun talking about the Ali family. No, it didn't last long at all. Listen, here's the trouble if you're a Spurs or a Man United fan. And it all depends on how you spin it with this league, whether it's the parity of the Premier League or the mediocrity. In my opinion, you've got 3 good teams in Liverpool, Manchester City, and Leicester City. And then it's about 4th. And it's less about who raises their game to finish 4th than it is about who's the worst and loses fourth spot. I think Chelsea are the best of the usual suspects, as it were, but even they have made hard work far too often. And as a result, have kept both Spurs and United in it. If you're a Spurs or United fan and Chelsea still within touching distance, and you see how poor your team has been, you're saying to yourself, we cannot be this bad for the rest of the season. A little bit of an uptick, we can finish 4th.
Spurs then in desperate need of a striker. Suggestions are that they could be going for Krzysztof Piatek, who of course talk about highs and lows. 30 goals last season in just 42 matches. He's had 4 goals so far this campaign in 18 games. Of course, Zlatan coming into AC Milan could free him up to make a move. Spurs haven't exactly had the best of records when it comes to strikers to try and back up Harry Kane in the past. Piatek, right, Jules, let's start off with whether or not you think this will happen.
What about bringing Vincent Janssen back from Mexico as well?
Yeah.
I don't know, that could
Where's
work.
Soldado? Is he in Villarreal?
Soldado. Yeah, I mean, Piatek had that incredible spell that got him a move to Milan where he was scoring literally pretty much every shot was going in. The problem that he faced at Milan is that one team played in a different way against Milan, that there was not enough chances created for himself in that Milan team, and still not this season. And also, I think he showed his own limits as well by being less efficient and maybe, in a way, a bit less lucky than what he was in his previous season. So I'm not sure Piatek is really the answer for all the issues that Mourinho and Spurs have right now.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPNFC 7 days a week, subscribe to ESPN+.